Hello learners, hope you are doing well. So here we come with another video in the playlist Tax Odyssey, and this will be the third video in this particular playlist. So if you have not watched the first two videos which were related to the introduction to tax and the introduction to the columns and measures, so I recommend you to please watch both the videos before coming to this video. So in that video I have explained the basic what is tax and what are the columns and measures. So now in this video I am going to start a series which is related to table functions. So we'll learn the introduction of table functions, different type of table functions, and then slowly and gradually we'll deep dive into different kind of table functions available in tax and what are their uses. So let me start with the introduction. So friends, I have switched to the Power BI desktop now, and let me start with the introduction to the table functions. So as the name suggests, the table functions are generally used to return a table. So there will be two use cases where we'll be using the table functions within the tax. So the first use case is that you will use the table functions to create a table inside the Power BI model. So when I say inside the Power BI model, it means a calculated table. So as we use DAX to create a calculated column, so similarly there are table functions which can help us create a calculated table. So it's just like any other table inside the Power BI model, and it can be used in the same way as the other tables are being used. Another use case is that we can create a temporary table inside the code of a measure, and that temporary table will be used later on in that code to do some computations. So what do I mean by that when I say temporary table? So friends, let me just tell you, as we also studied in the previous video, that measures are generally used to return a scalar value. So you will use measure to do some computation and finally return a scalar value, a single value, so that you can show that value inside a visual. So as I mentioned, that the measure cannot return a table. It will always return a scalar value. So now how we can use table inside a measure then? So as I mentioned, that the table will be created inside the measure using a temporary variable, so that you will store the table inside a variable, and then later on you will use that variable to do some computations and finally return a scalar value. So we'll come to those use cases. Let me start with the very basic one. So I have created here, as you can see on my screen, that I have created two scalar values and one table. So let me start with the scalar value first. I'll show the measure which I have created behind this. So as you can see, I have clicked on the sales amount measure, and you can see the code of this particular measure. So as you can see, I have created very simple measure which takes the sum of the sales amount. Now I have also commented one line, you can see at the bottom. So you can also create the sum measure using this particular function sumx, which is an iterator function. So it will return you the same value. So what's the difference between the two? So I'll just give you a brief introduction about this also. So sum and sumx both return you the sum. Now sum always accepts a single argument, which is the column name. It doesn't accept an expression. Now coming to the sumx, so the first, it accepts two arguments. The first argument is the table name or the expression, and the second argument is the column on which it will iterate to calculate the sum. So there is a catch here, that the sum always resolves to sumx, means that the sum function will get converted into sumx only inside the Vertipack engine, and finally it will return the value. And now as you can see that this is returning us the sales amount. Now coming to this measure, now in this measure I have created sales amount filter, the name of the measure, and you can see now that I'm using the sumx function, and now I'm using a table function. Now filter is a table function. So as I mentioned, that sumx can accept directly a table, or either it can accept a table expression or the table function, which generally returns a table. So you can see that the filter function, what it is doing is, it is taking the first argument, the fact internet sales table, and it is filtering out those rows only which have the customer age greater than 30, and then it is returning this table as a first argument to the sumx function. Then the SUMX function is using this table returned by the filter function to iterate on all the rows and calculate this expression for each row, and then finally return the sum, which is, we can see on the screen, this is the number. So obviously this number would be lesser than this because we are filtering out few rows. So friends, as you have seen that we have actually created a table function or the table expression inside a measure, but that was not used to return the final value. That was being used by the SUMX function to return a scalar value. So this is the first use case. Now coming to the second use case, in which I said that table function can be used to create a calculated table inside the Power BI model. So I'll just scroll down and you can see there is a table named red products. So let me just click and show you the expression. So here is the expression. So as you can see that I have created a very simple table which only contains the rows from the dim product table which have the color as red. So this particular table is a subset of dim product table, the dimension table, and only contains the rows which have the color as red. So this is now a calculated table. So just to show you, I will do is I will go to the Power BI relationship view. So now I have switched to the relationship view, and now as you can see on my screen that there is a table called red products which is similar to the other tables present inside the model. So this is the main table dim product, and we have taken the subset of the dim product table containing only the sales for which, or containing only the products which have the color as red. So this is all about the calculated table. So we have created a very simple calculated table in which we have used the filter function. So now coming to the another scenario where I have created few more table expressions inside a measure. So now as you can see this particular visual, what I have done is I have taken the English product category name from the dim product category table. Let me just expand this table so that I can show you. Okay, and then we have taken the sales amount. So sales amount, which is a very simple measure, if we just scroll up and we can see the sales amount measure which I showed you earlier in the video. So we have just dragged this sales amount. Now I have created another measure which again uses a table expression to filter out the sales which are related to the product of color red. So as you can see for the SUMX function, what I have done is I have taken the filter function, I have taken the fact internet sales table, and I have filtered only those products which have the color red, and this ultimately will filter those sales which have the product color as red, and then will compute this expression over the return table row by row, and then take the sum and then return the number. So as you can see, this expression in itself is a table function, and it will return a table to the SUMX function containing only the rows which have the product color as red. So now finally you can see the number. I have included this measure inside this visual, and you can see it only contains the calculation for those rows only. Now we can also combine two conditions in the same filter function. So let me come to another measure which I have created, in which I have used two conditions for the filter function. So as you can see in this expression, what I have done is I have used two conditions using the AND clause or AND function. So the first condition is the dim product color equal to red, and the second condition is customer age is greater than 30. So these are the two conditions combined inside the AND function, and then finally used as a single second argument to the filter function as a filter expression, and then it is finally returning a table to the SUMX, and which is doing the calculation. So friends, this gives us another subset of the sales. So as you can see, all the three numbers inside this particular visual. Okay, so friends, now we have seen three use cases in which I have created the table function, in which in the first case the table function was being used to create a calculated table. Then we have created three different measures in which we have seen different kind of conditions being plotted inside the filter function. So now I'll come to some very important points related to the table functions. So let me switch to that and I will explain you very briefly. So friends, as I mentioned in the starting of the video that there are different type of table functions. So the first function we have learned today is the filter function. There are many other functions also which are used to create tables, and we learn later on this in this particular series, like all selected, all except, related table, calculated table, summarize columns, summarize. So these are all table functions which generally returns a table. So you can use these functions to create the table inside the Power BI model, and similarly you can use these table functions inside the measure code also. So friends, as I mentioned earlier in the video that in general table functions cannot be used as a value of a measure or a calculated column. So they can be used to create a calculated table, or they can be used as a temporary table inside a measure. Now coming to the filter command. So as we learned in this particular video, the filter command and how it can be used. So let me just give you a few basic points about the filter command. So the filter command is generally a table function and it can be used as an iterator. So what I mean by that when I say that the filter function can also be used as an iterator. So to explain this, let me go again back to the measure code in which I use the table function. So let us go to the red cells and we'll see. So friends, as you can see here, the filter function, as I mentioned while I was defining this particular measure also, that the first argument is the fact internet sales table and the second argument is the filter expression, which will use to filter this particular table and return the rows only which meets this particular filter expression or the filter condition. So what filter function does is it takes the first argument, the whole table, and then row by row iterates on each on the table and checks this particular condition. So basically it is scanning the whole table. So it will scan the whole table and it will check the condition row by row and will return true and false based on those rows, and finally based on the true and false, those particular rows will be included in the final table written by the filter function. So this is what I mean when I say that the filter function can be used as an iterator. So friends, with this we come to the end of this video, and in this video we have introduced the basic table functions and we have learned that what different type of table function commands are available, and we have touched upon the filter function. So in the next videos we'll learn about different other table functions also. So friends, with this we come to the end of this video, and please do subscribe to our channel ML for Analytics for the latest videos on Power BI and DAX. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you can get the latest notifications whenever we post a video. So take care and goodbye.